I'd like to welcome everybody to today's Tech Talk. If you haven't joined us before, our Tech Talks are a monthly talk that we have a nice conversation about some of the things that are going on in the tech world and how some of the automation can help to further along business. And that's exactly what today's topic is about. It is how to automate and digitize every step of the job cycle, and is hosted by Axsoft. And my name is Scott Englert. I am the director of marketing operations here at Axsoft, and joining us today is well, actually, I haven't gotten to that part yet. I'm not going to introduce you to you just yet because we do have a couple of housekeeping items before we do that. So 1 second. Let's switch over. Oh, I jumped way far into the. Sorry, hang on. I was not in the right spot for the PowerPoint. Sorry about that, guys. Here we go. All right. Should be up here, and let's jump over to the housekeeping items. Okay, so today's event is a recorded event, and we have this available on our website as well as our YouTube channel once we are finished here, so you can go back and watch it if you missed anything, or you just want a refresher or anything like that, or possibly you may be watching it now from the recorded version because you weren't able to attend to the live one. That's perfect as well. You can submit your questions that you may have throughout the Tech Talk, and we will answer those at the end. And you can also do so through our chat feature. I'll be monitoring the chat feature as we go along, and if there's anything that I can answer right away, I'll do so. If not, we'll get to it at the end during the questions part. So now I would like to introduce our guest today. It is Vincent Vasquez. He is our corporate trainer, and he's been with Axsoft for about 3.5 years now. And Vinny is an avid reader and loves Stephen King, as I hear. So I wanted to just chat with you a little about what are you currently reading, and are you enjoying it?
Yes, actually. So it's funny you actually mentioned Stephen King because I'm reading his Dark Tower series. I actually have my e-reader here that I use on my breaks.
Very nice.
But yeah, I'm on the 4th book, and I'm enjoying it very much. It's long, and it is a it can be a bit intimidating at times, but yeah, I'm getting through it and I'm enjoying it very much.
Nice. And how many books are in that series?
So there are, I think, 8 right now.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. So a nice long journey for you on that one.
For sure.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Very nice. Very nice. Okay. Well, let's jump right into it, Vinny. Glad to have you here. And we are going to talk again about how to automate and digitize every step of the job cycle, which is really awesome, and a topic that I'm excited to talk about. And so getting right into it, let's kind of start with the basics here. So what are automation and digital transformations, and how do these concepts kind of play a role in helping to find field service businesses increase efficiency during each step of this job cycle?
That is a great question. So basically, digital transformation and automation means taking outdated manual processes and completing those processes in a digital environment. So I'm talking about things like manual dispatching, paper timekeeping, and paperwork in general. Essentially, automation and digital transformation can remove a lot of the time and effort that is spent on these manual processes, allowing employees to spend more time on more important things like customer service and acquiring more business. In addition to saving time, it also can help with a potential reduction in errors. As a result of automation, it can increase overall efficiency during daily workflows.
Fantastic. Yeah, that's all really good stuff that we could all improve on. So,
Sure.
let's talk a little bit about what are the typical steps of a field service job cycle. What are the things that we can possibly use automation and digital transformation in order to help in these steps?
Okay. Well, I mean, generally speaking, because all businesses are different, but generally speaking, it normally starts with a call from a new or current customer, right? And automation can help you accept new service requests electronically instead of just over the phone. I would say next we have identifying availability and locations of employees and equipment. So with digital transformation, you can keep tabs on your equipment as well as vehicle locations with GPS tracking, as well as foster stronger communication with employees using digital tools. Um, Next, after identifying availability, I would say dispatching employees to the new service requests. So you can send job information to the mobile devices of field employees. Um, Now, once those field employees get to the job site, usually they have to clock in at some point. So with automation, you can allow your staff to clock in and out directly from the field without needing to either drive into the office to clock in or out, or driving to the office to turn in paper timesheets, that sort of thing. Next, we have completing job documentation and safety checklists. So using a digital solution for paperwork and forms just makes that a lot more streamlined and just easier to complete. Um, Next, we have, I would say, monitoring employee locations as well as vehicle locations. So using GPS tracking technology or even asset tracking devices or fleet tracking devices, you can keep track of your employees as well as vehicles, using that digital solution. Next, I would say managing inventory and condition of equipment. So again, you can automate that inventory management with digital tools, like scanning barcodes of parts and equipment. And then I would say lastly, accepting payments in the field. So with automation, you can complete work orders in the field and provide greater convenience to the customers, as well as drive faster cash flow by taking payments directly from their mobile device.
Yeah, absolutely. So, really good stuff to talk about from a kind of logistical standpoint, and how the automation can really help in that aspect,
Mm.
by introducing kind of the digital version transformation to those steps. That's really good stuff. So now that we talked about that, kind of from that aspect, what are kind of some of the risks that may be involved in not relying on digitizing and automation? If you don't go that route, what are some of the things that can happen?
So some of the risks for not relying on, digitization and automation, your employees can become frustrated with manual processes, or just unable to complete tasks in a timely manner. Um, you can also have too many resources and too much time spent on manual administrative tasks. Um, Another risk I would say would be high operational costs, and an inability to provide optimized service to your customers, or just being truly responsive, right? Um, and then really just, I would say also confusion and clutter for back office employees. Those are the people who are tasked with inputting data into systems manually.
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. And you definitely speak on some of that frustration portion of it. Hearing from some of the people in the field, some of our customers, of even something simple as having to drive to the office in order to clock in and get their job dispatching, paperwork, etc. Taking that, something as simple as that, as being able to clock in from their device, get the job orders right from a device, that they can go directly to the job from their home. They don't have to continuously go back and forth to the office at the beginning, end of the day. Helps with operational costs. All that it's kind of like a domino effect,
Absolutely.
for just something along those lines, which is really kind of interesting stuff that I've definitely heard from the field, and I'm sure you may have as well.
Yeah,
Vinny?
absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, automation and just digitizing your business can certainly allow you to not only acquire new business, but increase your capacity of doing business with your current customers. You just have more time to do more jobs, and you can do those jobs faster. And it really, really does help when it comes to increasing your cash flow.
Yeah, we certainly talk a lot about that is, increasing even one job per employee per day can, I mean, just really increase your bottom line and your ROI on it.
Absolutely.
It's amazing. So, yeah, absolutely. So, so let's talk a little bit about how Axoff kind of comes into play here, and Teamworks itself, the application, and how that can help with the digitizing and automating. So what are some of the features that it has that can help with some of this?
Absolutely. So as you mentioned, Axoff's application is called Teamworks, and it's designed for your mobile workers. So basically, anyone who doesn't really, go into the office, they work out in the field, whatever industry they might work for, they whether they travel for business or they have a job site that they have to go to. The Teamworks is really designed for, businesses of that nature. So because of that, we have made it very robust with a lot of different features that cover a lot of different aspects of those kinds of jobs, right? So the first one I would say is wireless forms. With Teamworks, you can complete your forms electronically and allow your field techs to capture more detail, fill out forms faster with less confusion, and send information back to the field nearly instantly, right? Now, this will not only reduce paper costs for your organization, but it also helps reduce in manual errors. You're not having to figure out where you're going to store this paperwork. You're not having to decipher handwriting, and the information gets sent back pretty much instantaneously. So that's going to be in near real time. So it's not exactly, but pretty close, right?
Yeah.
Um,
And let's talk on that real quick,
sure.
because one of the things that you mentioned was kind of reducing some of the mistakes. And one of my favorite features that we have is something called conditional logic, which is where, based on what the field worker has answered in the form earlier on, it will only show results based off of that. So, my favorite example of this is, let's say that you're working on a vehicle, and that the vehicle is a Ford model. Well, it's only going to show you, if you pick Ford, the cars and trucks that are applicable to Ford, and then you can bring that down. Then you get into the parts, etc. So just as a simple example, that can immediately eliminate any mistakes where somebody could be putting in a wrong part for an item that doesn't exist for that, just by user error. The obvious thing of, if you have paper, it can easily get damaged with all that type of stuff, coffee stains and illegible handwriting, and just
Yep.
just regular mistakes that could really cost a lot of time, confusion, and potentially money. So
Yeah. Yeah, and those types of things, they do compound. So a lot of little tiny mistakes become one big great mistake later on. So I mean, it might not seem like a lot at first, but once you start compounding these issues, that eventually it can really slow down processes.
absolutely. And another thing, that is really a huge aspect from the wireless forms part is the safety portions. Where a lot of customers have set up safety forms on there where people have to fill them out in the field each day,
Hmm.
and they go through the safety checklist to make sure that everything is covered. And it really can help, not only from the company aspect, but also for any OSHA regulations, things along those lines that companies need to adhere to and make sure that they have a record of, which is fantastic stuff. So
Absolutely.
yeah, cool. All right.
But yeah, I mean, so in addition to wireless forms, we also have mobile timekeeping, which is something we've touched on, a little earlier in this webinar. So your staff can register their time punches from their mobile devices in the field using the Teamworks application. So instead of having to manually punch in a time clock, or instead of having a paper timesheet that they have to keep track of and turn in at the end of the week, or whatever the process is, they can clock in and out and register their breaks with just the press of a button, right from their mobile device, allowing them to remain in the field longer, as well as prevent costly and unnecessary travel to and from the office.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, big stuff there.
Now, after that, I would say GPS tracking is another great feature of Teamworks. So knowing the near real-time positions of your employees, vehicles, assets will help you make smarter dispatching decisions, as well as keeping productivity high, and serving customers faster. And it also gives you peace of mind. So knowing where your vehicles are at all times, knowing where your assets are at all times, not having to be worried that you might have expensive equipment that gets stolen. The GPS tracking is great for all of that.
Absolutely, and it ties into some of those things that you've already talked about as well. Wireless forms that have GPS timestamps on them,
Yes.
where you can see exactly where a form was filled out, and then the timekeeping as well.
Yep.
That's also monitored, so you can see exactly where the clock-in happens, so that that an employee might not be clocking in at home, then driving to the
Right.
site and clocking in
Right.
there, etc. Just however a company may want to run their business, it certainly helps to have that data and information right at their fingertips.
Absolutely. And, just touching on the timekeeping as it relates to GPS tracking, that's a huge piece of it, is the accountability, right? So, making sure your people are where they say they are, making sure they are where they're supposed to be, and like you said, making sure that they're not clocking in at home, or, making sure that they're actually in the job site, when they're clocking in, and, just making sure everyone is doing what they're supposed to be doing. So that really just that peace of mind aspect plays a big part in digital transformation.
Yeah, and you can even take it kind of one step further with the geofencing, which is a part of that as well, from the GPS tracking area, where you can set up perimeters inside of a job site, and
Mhm.
you can know when workers are coming and leaving from those perimeters, and just making sure that even some areas that you may not want them to be,
Yeah,
if they happen to enter those areas, yeah, you'll get notifications on that as well. So yeah, so that's
absolutely.
absolutely a big help with the accountability portion of it. Hmm.
Sure.
Yeah.
Now, moving on from tracking, another great feature of Teamworks, I would say, is job dispatching. So you can relay work orders to your employees digitally, and that will help you serve new customers quicker, prevent unnecessary fuel burn, and maximize your employees' daily time in the field. So you know, uh, you can check to see where your employees are at, see who the most appropriate person to assign a job to is, and just basically streamline your processes that way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Another great feature of Teamworks is barcode scanning. So you can automate processes with inventory management by scanning barcodes, as well as QR codes of parts and equipment needed for a job via your mobile device cameras. And then the last feature that I want to mention of Teamworks, I would say is we offer an API integration. So you can import and export data from Teamworks to and from a various compatible third-party applications. Right. So if you use for the best example I can think of off the top of my head is QuickBooks Online. If you use QuickBooks Online, you can use an API integration, so that way Teamworks can communicate with QuickBooks Online. And that's not the only third-party application that we offer an integration with. That's just one of many. So I just wanted to mention that piece as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we definitely have quite a few that we've already kind of set up APIs third-party integration with. And then we also have a dedicated team called our professional services team, which if you have something that is kind of more proprietary to your business itself, they are able to work with you and set up integration to those particular systems and get everything kind of working seamlessly together. So it's really a cool thing to be able to do that and kind of have everything sort of all in one.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, excellent. All right. Well, I think we are now to the question portion of today's Tech Talk, and wanted to check over here to see if we have any questions that came through. Okay. Okay, so somebody was asking about manual inventory management, and so what are some of the things that can go on with manual inventory management? And we barely kind of touched on that, so maybe we can expand on that a little bit, Vinny.
Absolutely. So when it comes to manual inventory management, companies could be at a greater risk of errors occurring, as well as inventory shrinkage, which can be very costly to businesses. Plus, productivity may not be truly optimized if this process is currently taking employees too long to conduct on a routine basis.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So that's a big thing. And you had talked a little bit as well about some of the barcode scanning stuff. That's a big portion of the inventory management, and kind of setting that up and making it real easy on being able to track inventory assets, all those types of things. I often think about a construction site, and how much very expensive the equipment that they have on a construction site that they often have to leave at a place, and being able to track those assets and keep that in inventory in check is extremely helpful, and also can save a ton of money.
For sure.
Yeah. So again, it's that peace of mind, and as well as the accountability aspect of it. So
Absolutely.
fantastic. Okay. Well, I didn't see any other questions for today. So,
Actually, I do see one from Arthur.
do you? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
It
sorry.
says, yeah, no worries. It says, does Teamwork support photos and video submission? Is there a
Yes.
file size limitation?
Great question.
Yeah, that is a great question. So Teamworks absolutely does support photos. And I'm honestly not, off the top of my head, I'm not sure about the videos. Do you happen to know that, Scott?
I don't believe that they have videos in wireless forms, but you know what? I can double check on that for you, Arthur, and I could get back to you and to make sure that we could tell you for absolute certainty. But yes, we definitely support photos, and being able to take photos of all the different kind of form items that you would need, confirmation of delivery, pictures of parts, potential error. I don't want to say errors, but potential issues that may happen with the items that you're actually filling out on the forms. There's all kinds of stuff that you can do there, as well as signature capture too. So, but I will definitely check on that video aspect of it, and get back to you, Arthur, through email, and let you know for sure. Okay. So, thank you. He just shared his email. I do appreciate it. Perfect.
Awesome.
Yes, I will definitely get that over to you. All right. Okay. So one thing that I did want to talk about now that we kind of covered our questions is a current promotion that we have going on, which is our 14 days for free trial promotion. And this is a really cool thing, because basically it allows you to try Teamworks in all of its aspects. This is not a trial version or a light version, if you will. It is the full deal, and you get to set everything up for 14 days and just kind of give it a good test run. See how some of these features that we've talked about could potentially work for you in increasing your ROI and just really using the platform. And it's not it's not something that we just kind of throw at you and you set it up on your own. We have an onboarding process where we will help you set things up and get everything working to the specifications that would be best for you. We have a whole team to help with that. And yeah, so I definitely would say if you're interested in taking advantage of that, to check that out. You can go to our website at axop.com. There's a banner right up at the top that you can click on to get that set up, or you can go to the address that's on the screen right now of axop.com. Try Teamworks for free, and you can sign up right there and get going for 14 days for free. So really cool trial that we have going on that definitely makes sense to take advantage of if you're interested. So. All right. And that's pretty much all that we have for today's Tech Talk. Wanted to thank everybody for joining us, as well as thank Vinny for all of the excellent information that you were able to provide for us. Some really cool stuff, and hopefully everybody got some a real good feel for how automating the digital processes can really help your business. So thank you all for joining us, and we'll hopefully talk to you all soon.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much, Scott.
Thank you, guys.
Cool.
Take care.